Taurus, welcome to your end of October 2020 General Tarot update. It's Rena here. I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a minute. Mainly because I got a few cards that were money and I thought, well, that's typical. The heart of the matter is the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card. Oh, let's see, it doesn't seem like, there you go. I was waiting for it to focus. Which is a card of financial stability, autonomy. So that might be an issue that is, first and foremost on your mind. I don't always see it as necessarily having to be for somebody who is single and doesn't have a partner to contribute to the finances. It might be for the two of you together. And perhaps you're looking for a sense that you can totally do everything yourselves. If you've gotten some help from others or just are noticing that you're not bringing in as much as before, this kind of counters that. How can I do this? How can I counter this situation that is happening? And when I look at the past position, I have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And so the Knight of Swords can actually be a lawyer. Maybe this was an unscrupulous lawyer. If you're dealing with some kind of, I'm just throwing this out here, like a will or something like that, they might have given the power of attorney to somebody in the family that was the least deserving of it, that is the most dishonest. And this, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't happen a lot, because usually those people have narcissistic tendencies and they tend to try to get in control of everything they can get in control of. And they have the ability to give people a false impression about them, that they really are on the ball, that they're, good, that they're not bad actors or anything like that, when that's the furthest thing from the truth. This may have also been a situation where somebody took advantage of you. Maybe this is an immature air sign. Gemini can be the con artist. Aquarius is a sign that squares you. So Aquarians might be who you are attracted to, but not necessarily who you're best suited for all the time. Of course, even signs that you're supposed to be well suited for, you might not be. So it doesn't really work out like that 100%. But Libra, like maybe a Libra, one of those Libras who is imbalanced and is just looking for, maybe as a grifter even, and they're looking for people they can charm because they have like that ability, but they're con artists and they're not stable, and they don't want to be in a relationship. They want that money because they want to live that lifestyle. The higher message is the Empress, which is a card of love, of the divine feminine, the feminine principle, being a mother, being creative. What I think about this is also, one thing, let me just say too, that the Knight of Swords in reverse may be, you may be too much in your mind, and maybe you have allowed yourself, you've talked yourself into these jobs that are not for you that really are much more like cerebral. And I'm thinking of the Taurus people who have inner planets in Gemini, which will make them much more interested in that, even as a profession. You could actually have Aquarius at the midheaven and choose an Aquarius type of profession. And the bottom line being, there might be this tendency to do what is quote unquote practical instead of what you really feel good at and called to do. So something that involves your mind, like a teaching job, or like I said, this is the law. I mean, this could be a lawyer, but it can also be a writer or something like that. But it's in a challenge position. So whatever it is, you're resisting it. You're not necessarily aligned to it. And the Empress is the Earth Mother, so it's the mother archetype. Maybe you're a woman who would love nothing more than to stay home and, you know, make babies and bake bread or something like that. I'm Taurus rising. I just made some cornbread not too long ago. And it was the first time I'd baked in a while. They say cooking is an art and baking is a science. And that's why I think I tend to cook more than, because there's more leeway. Baking, you know, if you mix, you know, the ingredients the wrong way, they might not come out the way you want it to. It came out okay. So yeah, things like that. And the Empress is a feminine energy. Maybe, you know, for those female Taurians, it's like trying to put yourself around peg in a square hole, where you're trying to fit into society because they tell you, oh yes, you have to have a career, you have to do this. And what you really want to do is to be home and do things like that, and do domestic kind of things and raise children. And you're not getting a lot of support from people around you. Well, you have to learn how to overlook that and not allow the other people to dictate to you what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to be about. Also, this could apply to a male Taurian, especially when you see that, or you know, people have made disparaging comments of men who stay home with their children, and you might be afraid, and you have to stand out, you have to stand up, and not allow other people to dictate your choices, because there's a very domestic kind of a vibe with that. What crosses you is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's a new portal. So anything that you're doing of a practical nature may feel like you can't do right now. And certainly, you know, I'm recording this before the middle of October, and Mercury is just about to go retrograde. Mars will be retrograding until the middle of November. So we still have another month of Mars retrograding in Aries, which is your 12th house. But you may not feel like you have, like it's ready for a new thing to come out. And that's okay. If you're still kind of like finding your way, that's beautiful. But as long as you are continuing to do so and not just expecting instant results, you know, you can still take pride in what you've accomplished. So if you're waiting to hear, maybe you have been wanting to get a new job and you just haven't heard back, it just may be that the timing isn't right for that. So let's see what's coming in. What is coming in is the Strength card. This can also be the advice. So hanging tough, being somebody who is willing to, you know, well, it isn't even being somebody. You may feel like your self-esteem is higher now for whatever reason. Maybe you've gone through something and you feel like, hey, your finances are you're starting to get more, feeling more independent, less dependent, and that can be really good for you. So it's like regaining what you may have lost somewhere down the line. Maybe you're in a relationship where the person wasn't very nice and wasn't very, supportive of your dreams. And you find, since you've been alone, that you don't have to even know what somebody else's dreams are. Just being like a sympathetic person, a supportive person, it comes naturally. So the same thing applies to ourselves. We have to talk to ourselves in the affirmative rather than saying negative things. And the outcome is the Four of Swords, which is about rest, retreat, relaxation, replenishing the system. The phoneme re means again, and it means like, just like we say repeat, we're doing something again. And it's about those, I wouldn't even call them rituals, but those things that people do to move on with their life. One of them can be retreat, going to a physical space where you can spend a lot of time in silence and solitude. That may be something that some of you decide to take advantage of. But regardless, it can be that, you're at some kind of a crossroads in your life and you just need to clear your head so that you can really know what's the best move to take for your future. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, so a lot of my readings are astrology based. You can check me out at the link below, and take care of yourself. Bye.